Hi everybody, I'm Andy Curtis. Welcome to this episode of Stahls TV, and we're going to be talking about screen printed transfers. So first off, what is a screen printed transfer? A screen printed transfer is when you are still doing the screen printing process, still using screens and plastisol ink, but instead of printing directly onto a garment, you're printing onto a piece of release paper. So you're still getting a screen print feel, you're still getting screen print quality and longevity, but you're doing so with a heat press. So there's no need for $10,000 worth of equipment that has a high learning curve. There's no need for all the chemicals, there's no need for all the extra equipment. All you need is a heat press to get you the screen printed look and feel that you desire. So let's talk about some of the different things you can heat press onto. I have got a couple different things set up on our heat press caddy here to show you a bunch of the different options. Now, you've of course got your t-shirts. We all know we can heat press onto t-shirts and apparel, but what we've also got here are bags. We have some of the popular cinch sacks. We have some tote bags here. We've got some koozies. We know super popular right now, koozies, mouse pads, and towels. The rule of thumb is if it has fabric and it lays flat, you can probably put it in a heat press and you can probably put a transfer on it. So the next thing we're going to talk about here, we're actually going to discuss gang sheets. Gang sheets are a great way to save yourself a bunch of money and get the products that you need. One example of a gang sheet is what I have here on the heat press right now. What we've actually done is we've printed a full-size design on the same piece of paper with two heart-size designs. So you're paying for this one piece of paper, but you're actually getting three different transfers all on that one piece of paper, and all you have to do is easily cut it apart here once you receive it. So what we've done is I've already set this up on the heat press. I've already cut it apart, so I'm going to take my two heart sizes off of here. I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to go ahead and pre-press my t-shirt. Alright, so here's my full-size design. I'm going to go ahead and lay that out. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the armpits here as a center point that direction, and I'm actually going to line up the middle point of the transfer with those armpits. I think I got it all lined up here. Looks good. And peel hot. So there is our full-size transfer. Now from here, I could have easily put this on the back of the shirt perhaps, and I could have put one of the football designs on the left chest instead. Or I could now use these left chest designs to do another t-shirt, or perhaps a pair of shorts, or a tote bag, or a mouse pad, or a koozie. The whole point here is I have multiple pressing options, and all of it came from just one sheet of paper. This is the best way to maximize all the bang for your buck. So I have some other examples of gang sheets here too. You don't have to do just one big size and some small sizes. We've also got gang sheets that consist of all heart sizes. Now again, the idea here is you could use these for left chests, you can use these for shorts, you can use these for any smaller type of area. We've got hat sizes. Now these are nice too because you can actually stick these in a bunch of different places. These can go on sleeves as well real easily, as well as on caps. If we were to make it a little bit shorter, you could even put it on visors if need be. And then the last one here is super popular right now. These are tags. I don't know if you can see the white ink there, but these are actually tags for those of you who want to do the tagless shirts. It's easy to find shirts these days that don't have the fabric tag in them, and all you have to do is heat press the tag into the collar, and you've got your own instant advertising there. Okay. So here's another example of a gang sheet. Now, this is a little bit different because of the intention for this gang sheet. This is a baseball design. We've got a full-size baseball design, and then I've got some script and tail designs down there at the bottom. The concept here is that you could be taking these to the tournament. Let's see, we've got East Coast Baseball Championship. So you could easily take these transfers and your heat press to the East Coast Baseball Championship and set up and press on the spot. Now, so what I've done is I've already cut these transfers apart. I've got my full size, and then I've got my heart size East Coast with the script and tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and press my full size transfer here. Let's move our Tyler and Vikings out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and press the full size, and again, the idea is that you can be doing this while you're actually at the event. One of the best things about transfers is that it's on-demand design. You don't have to screen print all of these ahead of time and then lose your stock if, God forbid, you don't actually sell all the product there at the event. So what I'm going to do here is I've got my shirt on my press, and I've got it pretty well centered here. Just make sure I'm hanging the collar over the edge so I have a perfectly flat surface. I'm going to go ahead and press out all the wrinkles here. There we go. All right, so again, I'm going to use my armpits as the center, and I'm going to line them up with the center of my transfer. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and All right, so there's our full size. And again, this is easily done on the spot at the tournament. Now for a couple extra dollars, what we could do is take one of those left chest designs, and instead of putting on the left chest, we could easily apply it onto the sleeve. Charge a couple extra dollars. You could take it a step further too and bring some of our peel and press letters with you. If you have peel and press letters, you could easily, for say $2, add little Timmy's name to the back of his shirt. So what you've done is you've got your shirt, a good base price for the shirt, but then you've got some fun add-ons that what parent could say no to. Another tournament, same concept here. We're going to keep going with this tournament idea. I've got another gang sheet here where what I've done is I've got a list of player names, but the player names and my design only take up the top half of the piece of paper. The bottom part of the piece of paper, I have some baseball clip arts, and then I have third place, second place, and first place. So again, I've prepared a gang sheet with a couple different options. So when I'm live at this particular baseball tournament, I can easily offer the parents these add-ons. So again, what I've done is I've cut everything up ahead of time. I've got my full-size design, and then I've got all of my extra baseballs for second and third place. So I'm going to take my black t-shirt here, and I'm going to load it up again. And the caddy certainly makes this easier since I don't have to work on a table that I would have to be bent down at an awkward angle. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pre-press, get all the wrinkles out of that. I'm going to grab my full-size design here. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to press our full-size design, but then afterwards we're going to add some of the extra little tidbits here that were on the gang sheet. We're going to say this parent is not only buying the full size from you, but they also want to go ahead and purchase some of the add-ons like the little baseball. So first we're going to go ahead and press the full size, and again we're going to use the armpits and the tag to do all the lining up, and looks good there. So we're going to go ahead and press the full size. Now, even though I'm doing some add-ons, obviously this is a two-step process because I can only press one transfer at a time since they're all on separate pieces of paper. So there's my full-size design. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to add the baseballs that were on that gang sheet. I'm going to go ahead and add them here, and I'm going to put them around one of the kids' names here. We're going to say that this is for Montgomery. We got a kid on the list here for Montgomery. Maybe his parents want to go ahead and put these baseballs around his name. What I'm going to do actually, because Montgomery's name is a little bit larger, I'm going to go ahead and cut these baseballs out just to make it a little bit easier to place them instead of leaving the gap between them here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and lay my baseballs out on either side of Montgomery's name, and we don't have to get too crazy about centering them. There we go. Now the most important step of this is because I've already pressed the full-size transfer, the heat press cannot touch that ink again. If it does, you're going to have a yucky mess all over the top of your heat press. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a cover sheet here to cover up all the existing ink. Easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and press it again. The cover sheet will prevent the mess. And go ahead and take the cover sheet off there. And then we're going to take off the two little pieces of paper that the baseballs were on. And now we've got a personalized shirt for player Montgomery. Now, I could take this a step further, and I could take one of my first place. Let's say Montgomery's team actually won this particular tournament. I could easily take the transfer that says first place, and this is a perfect size for the sleeve of the shirt. I could easily press first place on the sleeve. And we're going to do that just a little bit later in a couple seconds here. In addition to gang sheets, which allow you to add multiple designs to one piece of paper, there's also different types of inks out there. Now, of course, they're all plastisol ink, but they offer you different options and different features, such as glitter. Glitter transfers are great when you need to add a little bit of bling to a design. This is good for resorts, this is good for cheer, this is good for spirit. This is good for any design that needs to grab attention, needs to get a hold of somebody, or it's good when you're trying to give a shirt a feminine look. When we're talking about burnout tees, or we're talking about slub tees, tees that are real popular right now with the ladies, the glitter is a great option. Now, if glitter is a little bit too blingy, you're looking for something shiny but a little bit more subdued than glitter per se, we offer our pearl prints. Pearl prints still have a shine. They have a real nice glint to them. It's still a blingy product, but it's not going to be an in-your-face glitter like the glitter transfers are. So this is another great option. The pearl only comes in one color, but we do have a couple different colors to choose from. But it's still a real great mother-of-pearl type finish once you've pressed the transfer. Next, we've got our elasti prints. Now, elasti prints are most likely our most versatile type of transfer. And I say this because the elasti prints, as the name suggests, the elasti prints actually stretch. So they work great on performance wear. Now, I'm sure you've probably tried pressing on performance wear before, and if you haven't, a lot of people, the first time you do it, you experience the whole burned shirt. You'll see scorch marks in a square shape on the front of the shirt you've pressed. Now, the elasti prints, we don't have this problem because the elasti prints press at 275 degrees, eliminating scorch marks because of the heat-sensitive polyester. So the elasti prints are great because not only do you get the stretch, but then you get the fact that they only apply at 275. And the other nice thing, too, is the elasti prints are really color fast. If you're going to do a light-colored ink on a dark-colored garment, the elasti prints are perfect because they stay nice and bright. And then, of course, we have our old standbys. We have the two standard types of ink. First off, we have Hot Split. Hot Split, of course, is the ink type that is softer than the other inks because the Hot Split ink is actually soaking into the fibers of the garment. There is no extra adhesive causing it to bind to the surface, so when the heat is applied, the transfer melts into the fibers of the garment, giving it a really soft feel. Opposite of that, we have Goof Proof. Now, you can't see it in the video here, but Goof Proof has kind of a sandy texture to it. The sandy texture is the powder adhesive that makes Goof Proof special. Goof Proof will bind to the surface of a garment instead of soaking into the fibers quite so much. So what we've got here is a transfer that's going to stay nice and bright because it's not soaking in. It's going to have a real athletic feel to it. So this white that you see on this transfer would stay nice and bright white. Now, the other nice thing about Goof Proof is that it only applies for 4 seconds. That's what I've used so far in our video. So the Goof Proof is great because you can press transfers real quick. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about our hat press, actually. We can take this hat press and we can do a whole bunch of different things with it. The first thing I want to show you, a minute ago we were talking about our baseball tournament, and we talked about how this player Montgomery, we put some baseballs by his name. We're going to say his parents paid a little bit extra for it. We can take it a step further. I have a little transfer that says first place on it, and what we're going to do is we're going to put that on the sleeve of Montgomery's shirt. So the hat press here, I know you probably think I'm crazy, the hat press can be used for more than just hats. That's what's so nice. The curved surface obviously allows you to press on a baseball hat, but it's actually ideal for our t-shirt sleeves because the curved surface, it's the same curve as your arm would be as if it were in the sleeve. So it makes it much easier for us to press these t-shirt sleeves. You could, of course, do so on a regular flat shirt press, but it would be a little bit more of a challenge. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and load our sleeve up. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm using the seams on the shoulder to show me where the middle of the sleeve is going to be. So I can see the seam, and I can actually still see the crease from where the shirt was shipped and how it was folded. So I can use that crease and this seam as my center point. So I'm going to open up the sleeve real nice, and I'm going to slide it on to the cap press here. Now, I'm leaving my seam off of the surface, so I have a nice flat area here. And now I'm going to pull it back a little bit because I don't want to press the transfer all the way up on the shoulder. I want it down more on the bicep. So I'm going to pull it down just a little bit so we're getting closer towards the middle of the sleeve. There we go. All right. So as usual, we're going to go ahead and pre-press that to make sure we get all the moisture out of it. Now, as I'm pressing the sleeve, I have to remember that I have to press it upside down, actually, because the sleeve is going to hang downwards. If I press it right side up, then we're not going to be able to read the transfer correctly. So I've got my first place. We're going to do it upside down here. Center, locker down. And we're going to go ahead and peel, and there we go. Pull that off. So now, player Montgomery has his first place transfer on his tournament shirt, as well as some baseballs around his name. So what we've got here is a really slick tournament idea. And again, this is all the same concept of pressing on site at these tournaments, taking your heat press with you. And what's nice is, by adding this first place to this garment, and these baseballs around Montgomery's name, those are add-ons you can charge for $1 a piece, maybe $2 a piece, in addition to peel and press letters if you were going to do that, and adding his name to the back of the shirt. Okay, so obviously, aside from our tournament shirt, you can also do hats on the hat press. The whole idea is the hat is obviously a curved surface, as is the press itself. Now, what's nice is the hat press, like our other shirt presses, you can change out the platens, but the hat press is actually very fast. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to change the platen out because this hat's a little bit lower profile than the platen that comes on the cap press. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this cap platen off, and that's as easy as just pulling it off. I'm going to set it aside, and I'm going to go ahead and put the smaller platen on here. Just going to go ahead and load that up. All right, now, I like, when I'm pressing a hat here, I like to pull the sweatband out. So I'm just folding back the sweatband from the inside of the hat. And I'm going to go ahead and load it onto the platen. Pull it flush. Now, I've got a little lever here. This lever is going to flip down, and on the inside, it's pulling the hat tight against the lower platen. All right, so now I'm going to grab one of our hat transfers here. This is one of our East Coast designs with the script and tail. I'm going to go ahead and pre-press my hat. All right. So I'm just going to make sure I got my hat. There we go. Let's press it one more time, then I got it all straightened out. All right. There's our East Coast baseball team. We've talked about a bunch of stuff. We've talked about how to use gang sheets. We've talked about our options for putting multiple designs on one piece of paper. We've discussed how to take your heat press to a tournament and press shirts at the tournament, making use of those gang sheets. We've discussed some of our specialty transfer types and some of the other ink types that are out there. And we've pressed a couple shirts. So hopefully you see that screen printed transfers, they are incredibly useful because in this small span of time, I've pressed 2 tournament shirts, I've pressed a hat, And I could be doing more pressing because I've got so many transfers from my gang sheets. And all of this is with Plastisol screen printed ink. So this was Andy Curtis from Stahls TV, and thank you for watching.